Good evening, everybody. It is Steve Lookner with Agenda Free TV. We are here to bring you some live coverage, but I just realized I'm hearing two of myself, so I'm going to take about 7 seconds to shut something off. Hey, give me 7 seconds. I need 7 seconds because I am hearing two of myself right now, and that's not going to be good. Hold on one moment. All right, we should be good now. Now I'm only hearing one of myself. That's better. That was not going to be good. Hey, thank you for joining us. We are here to bring you a live update on the incident in the Israel-controlled Golan Heights, which is it's in the north, and it is territory that Israel controls. Much of the world considers it occupied territory, right next to Syria and near Lebanon. And we're going to talk about an incident that happened there today. Let me just do this with the map here. That's easier. There, that makes it a little easier to see. So you can see Syria, Lebanon, Israel, and we're talking about Majdal Shams, which is in the Golan Heights. And a rocket landed there today and killed 12 people. It landed on a soccer field. A rocket landed on a soccer field and killed 12 people and injured over a dozen others. And Israel is blaming Hezbollah, the Lebanese militant group / political party. And Hezbollah is denying responsibility for it. So there's concern that this incident could possibly help lead to some kind of war between Israel and Lebanon. Now, you might say Israel and Lebanon have been fighting since last October. So Israel and Hezbollah have been exchanging fire across the border, across the northern Israeli border with Lebanon since October 8th of last year. But it is not an all-out war. So there's a concern that that what has been this exchange of fire that's ongoing could become a war. And this is certainly a very concerning incident. So we want to bring you the latest updates here on what happened. I have some not graphic pictures, but I have some photo and video to show you. We're also going to be taking your comments and questions on the air. You can write me on X. @Lookner is where you can reach me. @Lookner is on X is where you can reach me. And I really appreciate our moderators being here. We have Ruth Krafasi is here. Rusty G is here. Moderating on YouTube. Thank you so much. Chandra is here moderating. Thank you, Chandra, moderating, and BZ as well. Linda Belk and Larry moderate for us on X. And also, I want to thank our Twitch moderators and our Facebook moderators. Before we get going here, we have Papa Bear and Surly Dev moderating over there on Twitch. And on Facebook, we have right now moderating. Hang on one second. Let me pull it up here. We have moderating. Christina Neal is over there. Thank you so much, Christina, for moderating over there. And a quick thank you to Iran for subscribing on Twitch, and also Marotine Briano Idea for subscribing on Twitch. And thanks for your support on YouTube. David Spivak, Yvonne, MG Monkey, Deb N, Strange Reverend, Donna Smith, and Amanda Mosher. So let's go over the details of what happened here, and give me actually just one quick moment. I'm going to pull something up for you guys here. Let me pull something up, then I'll explain what I'm pulling up. There, I think we're good. I think I got it pulled up. Yes, so hey guys, also please stop mentioning the fake story about a power outage in Paris. Let me just show you, before we get going, because people are posting this stuff, you need to not believe everything you read on social media. Just because some social media account somewhere is claiming something happened doesn't mean it's true. So let me just show you what I posted over an hour ago on my X account. I said lots of social media accounts repeating each other's claims of widespread power outages in Paris, but I have yet to see a single French source mention it. So you have lots of these accounts, which are not major news outlets, they are not reliable accounts, and they repeat each other, and they show the same photograph, and they say there's a big power outage in Paris, and then people just believe it. But I'm looking at all the French sources, and none of the French news outlets are covering it. So I would think if there was a major power outage in France, that the French news outlets would be covering it. So I have seen zero reliable sources talk about that. I have seen no reporting in France talking about it. And my guess is just another one of these stories, basically designed to get you to click on it, like clickbait, from accounts that are not doing due diligence. And they're not, at best, they're not being responsible. At worst, they're posting intentional clickbait. So please, 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 use some critical faculties when you see these posts on social media. Who is posting this? Where are they getting this news from? Are any French sources posting about it? Please ask yourself these questions before just believing, because there's all these accounts that post this garbage that either don't actually check what they're posting or are actually posting stuff they know is false, but to get you to click on it. So please, 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 because I start the stream and person after person is saying, do you know about the Paris power outage? Well, no, I know about the non-French accounts claiming there is one with no sourcing. I know about that. So I think this is very important. It doesn't matter what story, but please, just know, just because someone's posting it on social media doesn't mean it's true. All right? So I think it's an important point. That's why I'm taking a second to make that point. Okay. Anyways. Believe me, if there's a big power outage in Paris, it's going to get reported by the French news outlets. And if they report it, I will certainly bring you that news. I am not going to keep that from you. I will, as fast as I can, report that for you. Okay. All right, let's get to the story we're here to cover. That is, hold on a second here. If people are going to be rude, no, we got rude people in the chat, I can see. I can see where this is going tonight. It's been a rude weekend in the chat. Not everybody, but some people. Okay, let's go to what I was going to talk about. Let me pull it up here. Okay, so look, the area we're talking about is the Golan Heights, which is a part of, well, Israel took it over from Syria, I believe, in 1967. So you can see here they have a nice little graphic on Wikipedia where you see Syria there. Can I blow this up? Ooh, I can. This is from Wikipedia. So there's Syria, and there's Jordan, and there's Lebanon, and there's Israel, and the Golan Heights is here. It says Israel occupied. Most of the world considers the Golan Heights to be occupied territory. It was taken by Israel in the 1967 war. 2/3 of the area was occupied by Israel following the 1967 Six-Day War, and then effectively annexed in 1981, which was rejected by the international community. That continues to consider the territory as Syrian and under Israeli occupation. Now, I don't want to get into an argument about whether this is occupied territory. My point in saying this is just to tell you a little background about where this is occurring. So I prefer to say it is a rocket strike in the Israel-controlled Golan Heights. I think that is an accurate way to put it, which is why I am putting it that way. Okay? So, so we're talking about this town in the Golan Heights called Majdal Shams. And a rocket exploded today at a soccer field where there were a bunch of kids playing. There might have been some adults playing there too. And a number of, 12 people were reportedly killed, including children. And Israel is blaming Iran-backed Hezbollah, which is a powerful militant group / political party in Lebanon. Israel is blaming Hezbollah, but Hezbollah is denying they were involved. And since last October, Israel and Hezbollah have been launching these attacks at each other across the border in the Israeli-Lebanese border. So there's a concern that this could, help lead to a war between Israel and Hezbollah and Lebanon, and maybe a wider Middle Eastern conflict. So let me show you, I have some photos and some non-graphic video I want to show you. We're going to be taking your comments in a second, but let me just give you an update about what happened. And, something I said on our previous stream is, that I want to mention is, if I can pull this up here, where did this thing go? Where did this thing go? Here. Yes, something I mentioned on the previous stream from this afternoon is that I am working on getting you some more news content. If you watch the channel, you know I pay a lot for live news video. We have some live news video from Reuters and AFP these days. But I also am interested in possibly getting my hands on some articles and photos to give you guys some background, to be able to give you some context and background and a more full picture of what's going on. So one thing I'm trying out right now, just trying it out for the moment, is some Reuters articles. So we actually have a Reuters article that came out tonight about this incident with their latest reporting on it. So I want to show you the Reuters article. There's also some photos with it too. So let me read you some of this article. This is the latest Reuters reporting on what happened. And the headline says, Israel says Hezbollah rocket kills 12 at football ground, vows response. Note that it says Israel says, because Hezbollah is denying it. Okay? So let me just move this down a little bit. Can I move this down a little bit? Hold on. Hang on a second. Let me just move that down a little bit for you. If I can do that here. Is it going to move? Ooh. Where is that happening? Sorry. There. I got it. I did it. So I can show you. Bear with me while today is the first day I'm doing this. So I'm trying to work out the best way to display these things on the screen. But hopefully more to come with this whole thing. All right, here's the article right here. There you go. Israel says Hezbollah rocket kills 12 at football ground, vows response from Reuters. Okay, a rocket attack on a football ground. Now, when they say football ground, they mean soccer field. Us in America would say soccer field. A rocket attack on a soccer field in the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights killed 12 people, including children, Saturday, Israeli authorities said, blaming Hezbollah and vowing to inflict a heavy price on the Iran-backed Lebanese group. So, look, something else. By the way, one of our viewers, D-Money, says no Iron Dome. So I think there is a question as to why this rocket was not shot down. But I might even mention this in this article. I don't remember. I read one of the articles that talked about that. But maybe it says it in this article. We'll remind me if I don't get to that. But I also want to point out that something else which people are wondering about is how is Israel going to respond to this? Are we going to see some strong Israel military strike in Lebanon or some kind of military action by Israel in Lebanon? As I said, since last October, you have had ongoing strikes back and forth between Israeli forces and Hezbollah forces in Lebanon. But could we see, in response to this attack, to this rocket strike, which Israel says Hezbollah did, could we see some kind of stronger than the usual response from Israel? So you can see here, Hezbollah, says Reuters, denied any responsibility for the strike. The deadliest in Israel or Israeli annexed territory since the start of the conflict in Gaza. That's an important point there. This is the deadliest strike in Israel or Israeli annexed territory, because the Golan Heights is Israeli annexed territory, since the start of the conflict in Gaza. So yes, There has been a bunch of back and forth, but this is the deadliest strike since last October 7th. The attack, says Reuters, sharply escalated tensions in the hostilities which have been fought in parallel to the Gaza war and has raised fears of a full-blown conflict between the heavily armed adversaries. And this can get confusing, so I want to point this out. So we're not talking about Gaza. Gaza is down here. So on the October 7th attack, Hamas forces from Gaza went across the border into Israel and killed over 1,000 people and took hundreds of hostages. We're not talking about Gaza. We're talking about the Golan Heights up here and Hezbollah in Lebanon up here. But remember, Hezbollah has been launching attacks on Israel in support of Hamas and in protest of Israel's attack on Israel's military operation in Gaza. But remember, Gaza is down here, and Hamas in Lebanon is Hezbollah in Lebanon is up here. And the incident that happened today is up here near Syria and Lebanon. So I know it can be a little confusing there. So we're not talking about Hamas in Israel. We're talking about Hezbollah in Israel, in the north. Our viewer Star Harper says it's all Iran. Let's keep looking at this article. Once we get through this article, I'll take some comments from you guys and questions. The rocket struck a football field in the Druze village of Majdal Shams in the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights, territory captured from Syria by Israel in the 1967 Middle East War and annexed in a move not recognized by most countries. Prime Minister Netanyahu of Israel said, Hezbollah will pay a heavy price, the kind it has thus far not paid. That's what the Prime Minister said. Hezbollah said in a statement, the Islamic resistance has absolutely nothing to do with the incident and categorically denies all false allegations in this regard. But at a certain point, I mean, Israel is saying it was them. So whether it was them or not, Israel says it's them. So Israel seems like it's going to act based on believing it was them. So before I go further here, I want to show you guys, I have a couple photos to show you as well, also from Reuters, and actually some video from Reuters. And these are not graphic photo or videos. I looked through them. There's not like bodies and stuff. So let me show you that to give you a little better sense of what we're talking about here. So let me pull up these photos here. Okay, so this is outside. This is next to the football field, next to the soccer field, right here. Again, these are Reuters photographs. They are from Reuters, which I have licensed these. So that's the soccer field is in here. There's video, which I'm not going to show you, which I've seen, which shows like people being carried off the soccer field in stretchers. All right, so there's that picture there. Let me just get you the different pictures here. Hang on. Where is... I have more pictures to show you. I got to pull them up here. Okay, let's see. Here's another one. Again, that's that soccer field where this happened. I'm just making sure here. Now, this isn't graphic, but it does show, this one shows damaged, looks like bicycles. See that right there? After the rocket strike. Number of children were killed. Here's another picture from the scene. That's afterwards. Again, via Reuters. These pictures go along with the article. They're like attached to the article. And here's another, that's the soccer field where it happened. Again, that's afterwards. So you see some Israeli responders there. But just to give you an idea of where this happened. Okay, and I'm going to also show you some video. Hold on. So here's a video. Again, this is all part of this thing, just so you know what's going on. I am experimenting with, I'm looking at some different news outlets to purchase some more news content for you. And one of the places I'm looking at is Reuters. So what I'm doing, I'm kind of doing a little test with them where I have access to some of their articles and photos and some video clips that go along with the articles. And so in the next couple weeks, I'm going to be trying this out with a couple different places, and maybe we'll kind of make that a permanent feature of the broadcast. So here's a video clip. This is also from Reuters. It goes along with this article. And actually, you'll see there's some English language writing on the clip, and it's not. This is not graphic. I've looked through it. It is not graphic, but what you're going to see is you're going to see like the rocket hit and some shouting, and then some aftermath at the field there. So let's look at this. I'm going to play the sound on it, and I'll just play it all the way through, and then we'll talk about it again.
شرف امي اي بعرض امي ضرب دار اسامه لا 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 على بوزك לתוך אם אפשר לבקש מהצלם שלנו להיכנס.
By the way, I think there should be, did it show there? Oh yes, I want to make sure I'm showing it. So the credit, it's a Reuters, it's a video from Reuters. It's a video from Reuters, but the original producer of the video is ADMMA. So I want to make sure I'm showing that as well. ADMMA is the original content provider, which gives it to Reuters, and then I get it from Reuters. So I just want to make clear that that's up there. So you can see it says smoke rises from a football field, a soccer field, in the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights after a rocket attack. And you can see that's where it was. And then here you see that's aftermath, but it was this. It's like a field, a soccer field in the middle of like a neighborhood where people live. Yes, 12 people died, including children. Let me just show that video again. Again, this is via Reuters.
ضرب دار بشرفي شرف امي اي بعرض امي ضرب دار اسامه لا 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 على بوزك לתוך אם אפשר לבקש מהצלם שלנו.
One of our viewers, Chi-Town Bear, says probably a rogue rocket. Was it a rogue rocket? I don't know. Again, Israel is blaming Hezbollah for this. Hezbollah has said it's not their fault. But I'm going to show you some more about what Israel is claiming about this. Anyways, so that gives you an idea of what the field looks like there. I'm not going to show any graphic footage or photos. Do I have any other photos or video to show you? Let me just see here. Oh, you know what I have actually? I have a whole other video I can show you. Again, I got some more content for you. You know, there's somebody, it's not graphic. You do see a stretcher being taken into a hospital in this video. Yeah, I'm going to play this video for you. This is a Reuters video. So again, trying to get you some more content, some more news content. All right, so this is it's a Reuters video that goes along with the article we've been reading. It's about a minute long. So let me play this for you guys. Again, it's from Reuters. It's got some narration on it, and I've scanned through it. It's not graphic, but I want to just make sure that logo is shown.
This video posted to social media.
Oh, sorry. Let me play. I'm going to play it now. I'm playing it right now. Here's the video.
This video posted to social media on Saturday shows the moment a rocket hit a football pitch in the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights. The strike in the village of Majdal Shams killed around a dozen people, including children, Israeli authorities said. It was the deadliest strike in Israel or Israeli-annexed territory since the start of the conflict in Gaza.
This evening,
Israeli authorities blamed the Iran-backed Lebanese group Hezbollah, vowing a response. The Israeli ambulance service said around a dozen more people were wounded in the blast. Hezbollah denied any responsibility for the strike in a statement. The group had earlier announced several rocket attacks targeting Israeli military positions in other locations from Lebanon. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who was due to head back from the U.S. to Israel overnight on Saturday, said he would bring his flight forward and convene his security cabinet upon arrival. Hezbollah and Israel have been trading fire in areas at or near the Lebanese-Israeli border since the eruption of the Gaza war. It's stirred fears of a full-blown conflict between the heavily armed adversaries. The Israeli-occupied Golan Heights was part of Syria until 1967, when Israel captured most of the area in the Middle East War, annexing it in 1981. That unilateral annexation was not recognized by most countries, and Syria demands the return of the territory.
All right, so just a little video there from Reuters. We showed you some photos. We've been showing you some of this article. I'm going to take some of your comments right now. But this is all from this article. Israel says Hezbollah rocket kills 12 at soccer stadium, vows response. So I have some more stuff to show you and also to talk about, more about what Israel said about this. But I want to take some comments and questions from you guys on this. You can reach me at Lookner on X. Certainly condolences to the families of the 12 people who were killed, among them children. And also thoughts with all of those injured in this. Rocket just hit a soccer field. And a quick thank you, by the way, to for your support, Michelle Lady, A Sun-Loving Mom, Dirty Bird Farms, Ivan MG Monkey, and thanks to all of our moderators who are here. I really appreciate our moderators. Thank you. And Kristen Gates. Thank you, Kristen Gates. Annie says the Iron Dome isn't perfect. Rockets got through. Now, let me just see. Where did I read something about that? Hang on. Let me try to. What am I thinking? What's the expression I'm using? Flag down, or track down. Track down is what I want to say. Let me try to track down some kind of reporting on this whole thing with whether it was supposed to get shot down or not. Oh, I'd like to get can I get also, I think there's an English language statement by the Israeli military that I want to play you. Hang on one second here. Okay. Yes, I have it. Here is the announcement. All right, I'm going to play you the announcement from the Israeli military about this incident, okay? This is from the Israeli military. So let me get this on the screen for you. Can I do it a little better here? There, that's better.
this evening, the Hezbollah terrorist organization in Lebanon fired a rocket at children playing soccer in a soccer field in Majdal Shams in northern Israel. Hezbollah then lied to the whole world and claimed they did not carry out this attack. This is a lie. We can confirm that Hezbollah murdered 10 children in this brutal attack and injured more than 20 were injured in this brutal attack. All were aged between 10 to 20 years old. Our thoughts are with the families of the victims, and our thoughts are also with the wounded that we embrace and hope for they to come well soon. This is the Druze community in Israel. These are Israeli citizens. We hug the Druze community. She's part of Israel. We will defend the citizens of Israel and also the Druze community. This is an attack that comes after attack in the north for more than 9 months. Hezbollah is attacking our citizens in the north, firing thousands of rockets and missiles and UAVs at northern Israel, targeting families, homes, and communities. The IDF is currently holding a situational assessment, and we will prepare for a response against Hezbollah. We will finish our assessments and we will act. This attack shows the true face of Hezbollah, a terrorist organization that targets and murders children playing soccer on a Saturday evening. We will act to restore full security on our northern border for all the citizens of the state of Israel.
So, what is Israel going to do to respond to this? Israel says they have proof that Hezbollah did it. They say that they are going to strike back. Again, this is the deadliest strike in Israel or Israeli annexed territory since October 7th. 12 people killed and over a dozen injured. He said over 20 injured, I believe. And I believe all of them are between the ages of 10 and 20. What is Israel going to do? Are we talking some kind of large military strike, or are we talking some kind of, incursion into Lebanon, perhaps, into northern Lebanon? That I do not know, but that's a big question. That is a big question. I still haven't gotten you. I think there might be some reporting on this question of why wasn't this rocket shot down? Let me, I'll mention the Druze community too. We'll talk about that in a second too. But I wanted to quickly show you something. Let me also just see if I have another statement from the IDF for you. Yes, so here, I have a couple things from the Israeli Defense Forces that I'm going to show you. So this is from the Israeli Defense Forces. This is what they claim. See this? It says, area of the rocket launch in Lebanon fired at the center of Majdal Shams in Israel. So they're saying that they're saying they have evidence that it was fired from Lebanon. You can see that map right there. That's from the Israeli Defense Forces. Okay, and they also said, I have some other photos from the Israeli military. These are not graphic. These are from the Israeli military. So that is the soccer field there. Damage at the soccer field. Here's another one. More damage, damaged bikes, it looks like. And then we're going to talk about, there was a reportedly an Israeli strike that hit a school today in Gaza. We'll talk about that too. That's another picture down there of damage at the, sorry, you can't see that well. That's another picture down there of damage at the soccer field. Okay. And I wanted to read you more of a statement from, this is a statement that the IDF put out today, the Israeli Defense Forces. They said, from the analysis of our operational systems, the rocket launch at the center of Majdal Shams was carried out from an area located north of the village of Chiba in southern Lebanon. According to reliable intelligence information in the possession of the IDF, they say, Hezbollah is behind the attack. That's what the Israeli Defense Forces said. They said Hezbollah is behind the attack. Yeah, it's the same thing I just read you here. It's the same thing as this post. Right here. According to the reliable intelligence information in the possession of IDF, Hezbollah is behind the attack, they say. They also say, Israeli Defense Forces also said today, they said Hezbollah fired approximately 40 projectiles toward northern Israel during 3 separate barrages. A hit was identified in the area of Majdal Shams during one of these barrages. The IDF, in cooperation with the MDA, are at the scene evacuating those injured. Okay. A quick thank you, by the way, to Chandra. Chandra says, I've seen analysis stating the rocket impact was due to miscalculated trajectory, thus Hezbollah denying responsibility upon realizing actual impact victims. Yeah, so I don't know. All I know is that Israel says Hezbollah did this. Hezbollah says we didn't do it. Whether it could have been some rocket intended for somewhere else, an accident, I have no idea. Assuming if Hezbollah did do it, were they targeting that location or was it somehow off course? That I don't know. I do not know. I don't have better information for you on that. Thank you, Chris, Canada, Quebec City, for your support as well. All right, hang on a moment here. There's a bunch to get to, and I want to read some more of your comments and questions and give you more updates on this. But yeah, obviously a really big question now is, what does Israel do next? How does Israel respond to this? Oh, I want to talk about the Druze community too. The area, the people who live in this area are Druze, which is, I've seen it described as like an esoteric, I don't even know if it's appropriate to say like a Muslim sect. It's like a certain, let me get you a better description of what it is. Here, hold on a moment. Yes, so in this article, I've been reading you some of this Reuters article here from today. Israel says Hezbollah rocket kills 12 at soccer field, vows response. If you go down here, it says about the Druze. More than 40,000 people live on the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights, more than half of them Druze residents. The Druze are an Arab minority who practice an offshoot of Islam. They are an Arab minority who practice an offshoot of Islam. Let me just read a little more here. They say here, just some background here from, actually, we didn't even read this part of the article. I want to go through this. The Israeli ambulance service said in addition to the 12 dead, 13 more people were wounded by the rocket that hit the soccer field, which was filled at the time with children and teenagers. They were playing soccer. They heard sirens. They ran to shelter. It may take them like 15 seconds to reach the shelter, but they couldn't reach the shelter because the rocket hit the site between the ground and the shelter, said a witness. So a witness said the rocket hit the site between the ground and the shelter. Footage posted on social media showed the moment the rocket hit. We saw some of that earlier. An air raid siren can be heard, followed by a big explosion and images of smoke rising. Reuters was able to independently verify the location with the buildings and road layout that matched the satellite imagery of the area. Yidan Avshalom, a medic with the Magen David Odom ambulance service, said first responders arrived to a scene of great destruction. There were casualties on the grass, and the scene was gruesome, he said. Prime Minister Netanyahu, already due to head back from the United States to Israel overnight on Saturday, said he would bring his flight forward and convene his security cabinet upon arrival. The United States, which has been leading diplomatic efforts aimed at de-escalating the conflict across the Lebanese-Israeli border, condemned it as a horrific attack and said U.S. support for Israel's security was ironclad and unwavering against all Iranian-backed terrorist groups, including Lebanese Hezbollah. Oh, let me some other detail here. Look at this. Again, this is from this Reuters article. The Israeli military spokesperson Daniel Hagari said forensics showed the rocket was an Iranian-made Falak 1 rocket. Hezbollah had earlier announced firing a Falak 1 missile on Saturday, saying it had targeted an Israeli military headquarters. Netanyahu's far-right coalition ally, the finance minister Bezalel Smotrich, called for tough retaliation, including against Hezbollah's leader, Syed Hassan Nasrallah. For the death of children, Nasrallah should pay with his head. All of Lebanon should pay, said Smotrich. And just background here, remember, so last October 7th, you had Hamas in Gaza, Hamas militants, and Gaza is down here. Here's Israel. Gaza is down here. So back on October 7th, I believe thousands of Hamas fighters crossed the border into Israel and killed over 1,000 Israelis and took hundreds of hostages. And then Israel started retaliating with military action against Hamas in Gaza. And I believe it was October 8th where, in support of Hamas, which is also funded, remember, Hamas is in part funded by Iran. Hezbollah in Lebanon is hugely supported by Iran as well. So in support of Hamas and in protest of Israel's military action in Gaza, starting, I believe, the day after October 7th, Lebanon started launching strikes on Israel, and there's been this back and forth between Lebanon and Israel, between Hezbollah in Lebanon and Israel across the Lebanese-Israeli border. That's been going on since last October. And I think this article mentioned this. It says Hezbollah is the attacks from Lebanon. Hezbollah is the most powerful of a network of Iran-backed groups across the Middle East that have entered the fray in support of their Palestinian ally Hamas since October. Iraqi groups and the Houthis of Yemen have both fired at Israel. Hamas has also carried out rocket attacks on Israel from Lebanon, as has the Lebanese Sunni group, the Jama'ah Islamiyah. More than 40,000 people, we talked about that already. Also, the attack on the soccer field followed an Israeli strike in Lebanon that killed 4 militants on Saturday. 2 security sources in Lebanon said the 4 fighters killed in the Israeli strike in southern Lebanon were members of different armed groups, with at least one of them belonging to Hezbollah. The Israeli military said its aircraft had targeted a military structure belonging to Hezbollah. And then a whole other story, which we haven't gotten to yet, that happened today, which I'll talk about in a little bit, is there is at least 30 people were reportedly killed in Gaza in reportedly what was an Israeli strike that hit a school in Gaza where people were sheltering. So we haven't even gotten to that yet. So we'll mention that as well. But I want to keep focus for a second on this, again, a soccer field in Israeli-occupied Golan Heights, which is near Lebanon and near Syria. 12 people killed, well over a dozen injured. According to Israel, everybody killed and injured was between the ages of 10 and 20. And Israel is vowing a strong response to this. And Israel is blaming Hezbollah, the militant group / political party supported by Iran in Lebanon. So let me take some more comments and questions from you. But hang on a moment here. And this is where we're talking about Majdal Shams. And again, I don't know what the Israeli military response is going to be, but Israel says it's going to be a big response. Dean R., our viewer, says, considering what the IDF did to the Houthis when one person died, I'm guessing their response is going to be significant. So what Dean is talking about is, I believe it was last week, about a week ago, where the Houthis fired a drone from Yemen, and it hit in Tel Aviv, and it killed a person, and it caused damage. It may have hurt other people as well. And Israel launched like an airstrike on the Houthis, which I believe it was some sort of oil facility, if I remember right. So Dean thinks maybe something like that would be a response. I don't know if there's a similar target to that, in Lebanon that would be similar to that. I'm not sure. I heard someone on TV, I forget who, talk about the possibility that Israel could try to send some troops across the Lebanese border and like forcibly clear out Hezbollah forces from across the border, like create kind of a buffer area or something. Not that that's going to happen. I don't know if it will happen, but that was another possibility raised as well. Cindy Lou says, just awful. My condolences to the families affected. Mikey says, I doubt we will see peace in this region in our lifetimes. M. Grafasi thinks there will be all-out chaos soon. Erin McCune thinks it's only ever going to get worse. All right, hang on a moment. Give me one moment here. I do need to just check. Periodically, I got to make sure I'm not missing any new breaking news. So I want to just check on that. Thanks for your patience. Then we'll give you some more updates and read some more comments and questions from you guys. Chucky's Chicklet says, this is a bad situation. A bunch of people are sending me these reports. It's the same thing. It's like people have been sending me reports since before the stream, where there are these accounts on social media that claim that Israel has already started responding to Lebanon, to the Hezbollah for this. And I'm not seeing any reliable reports whatsoever. Let me repeat, just because someone says it on social media doesn't mean it's true. I was seeing that stuff before I came on the air. I mean, didn't Netanyahu himself say that he's going to be meeting with his fellow officials in Israel to determine what to do? So this idea that they're already doing it, it just seems ridiculous. But people send me this stuff, and it's like it's not sourced at all. These accounts just post it. They don't say where they're getting it. And it's just coming from nowhere. It's the same with the reports of the big power outage in Paris, which nobody in France was reporting. So I see no reliable reporting whatsoever suggesting that an Israeli military response has started happening to this. Our viewer Armand Amsterdam wrote and said, I doubt Hezbollah targeted them intentionally, as Lebanon also has a large population of Druze. Armand Amsterdam thinks this was a very tragic mistake. Thinks that Hezbollah did not want to target this soccer field. Interesting, Armand Hammer mentioned Druze in Lebanon. I don't know if it's the same Druze as in the Golan Heights, but according to Wikipedia, Druze, which is a, it's like a, how is it described by Reuters? They describe it as a, an Arab minority who practice an offshoot of Islam. The Druze make up Lebanese Druze make up 5.2% of the population of Lebanon. Okay. Thank you for writing in. Educate Yourself says, Israel annexed the Golan, captured it from Syria after Syria attacked. They captured it in the 1967 war, the Six-Day War. 2/3 of the area was occupied by Israel following the 1967 Six-Day War. Thank you for writing in to our viewer who I just mentioned. Educate yourself. All right, hold on. I'm looking at some of the other things people have sent me. Matt Ruth says, can they attack without Bibi being there? Well, reportedly Netanyahu is heading back to discuss what to do. What did the Reuters article say? It said, Netanyahu said he would bring his flight forward and convene his security cabinet upon arrival. There's probably a statement that he posted to social media. Let me just pull that up. Here. Here's the statement from Netanyahu. Following a situation assessment with heads of the security establishment, he said, citizens of Israel, like you, I was shocked to see the horrific photos in the wake of Hezbollah's murderous attack in Majdal Shams. I have heard there's some very graphic photos or video showing victims. I have not seen those. I am certainly not going out of my way to find them, and I can't show them. But I've heard they're floating around. Netanyahu says, among those who were murdered are young children who were playing soccer and others. All of our hearts are broken over these sights. We embrace the families in the entire Druze community in its difficult hour, which is also our difficult hour. He says, since I was updated about the disaster, I have been holding continuous security consultations, and I have directed that our return to Israel be brought forward. Because he's still not back yet? Is that what it is, I believe? Yes. As soon as I arrive, he said, I will immediately convene the security cabinet. I can say that the state of Israel will not let this pass in silence. We will not overlook this. So I can't imagine, given that he's not even back yet, and given that he says he's going to meet with the security cabinet when he gets back, I can't imagine that any of these claims on social media that Israel has started its response are true. That doesn't really make any sense. Andrew Petrie says, BB is angry. A quick thanks to Keith M. for your support, and also thanks to, Dazleys4 on Twitch and EJ Rod31 on Twitch. And thank you for support. And a quick thanks to our moderators who are here. We have Beezy. Over there on YouTube. Cynthia Moon is here moderating. Really appreciate it. Chandra, Ruth Krafasi. Maybe we'll do a little poll in a second. We might do a poll. Cynthia Moon, if I didn't say her before. Linda Belk and Larry on X. Also, hang on a second. Also, thanks to our Twitch moderators. Big Ball of Yarn, David Green, I Got That Fire, Papa Bear, Surly Dev, and Tariag. Thank you. And our Facebook moderators. We have Margaret Riley moderating over there right now. I know Christina Neal was there before. Thank you for moderating. I haven't even mentioned the other thing that happened in Gaza today, which is sort of related. It's not this story, but Hezbollah has been launching strikes on Israel, and Israel and Hezbollah have been going back and forth with strikes on each other since right after October 7th, right after the October 7th massacre of last year, and by Hamas when they sent fighters into Israel, and then Israel started attacking Hamas forces in Gaza, and in support of Hamas, Lebanon, Hezbollah started launching strikes on Israel. So what happened in Gaza today is related, and I want to mention. It's related in that sense. So I want to mention what happened in Gaza. By the way, our viewer Southern and Sad says, if you were the head of the IDF ground operation in Lebanon, what would be your strategy and movements? This is not my area of expertise, so I'm not going to even try to say what they're going to do. But that is not my area of expertise. So we'll have to see. But they're certainly vowing a significant response. Let me because I keep saying I'm going to do it, and I keep not doing it. Let me show you something about what happened in Gaza today. What reportedly happened in Gaza. Okay, here it is right here. I have some photos, too, of this. Thanks for your patience while I pull this up here. Let's do this. Let's put this over. Oh, hold on a second here. Okay, here. So meanwhile, while in the north we have these hostilities between Lebanon and Israel, we also have the situation in Gaza. So remember, just to show you the map again, we got Lebanon up here, Israel here, Gaza is here. The rocket that Israel says Hezbollah shot from Lebanon and hit the Israeli-controlled Golan Heights is up here. But now we're going to talk about something that reportedly happened in Gaza today, down here. And that thing is at least 30 dead in Gaza school airstrike. Israel says targeted militants. This is something else that happened today. This is a Reuters article. This is from Reuters. At least 30 Palestinians were killed in an Israeli airstrike on a school housing displaced people in Gaza on Saturday, Palestinian health officials said, an attack that Israel said targeted militants who were using the compound. The Hamas-run government media office said 15 children and 8 women were among those killed in the strike in the central town of Deir al-Balah. More than 100 people were wounded, the media office and the Gaza Health Ministry said. Now, you might be saying, oh, well, Hamas is just claiming this. Well, actually, supposedly there's a bunch of footage of this, too. Israel's military said it had targeted militants who were operating there and that it had taken steps to reduce the risk to civilians. So Israel does say it launched a strike at that location. At Al-Aqsa Hospital in Deir al-Balah, ambulances rushed the wounded in for treatment. Some people arrived on foot, their clothes stained with blood. Reuters footage showed people returning to the site of the bombing to check on their belongings and fires burning in the area. Walls were blasted and debris scattered in the schoolyard where some cars were damaged. Hassan Ali, a displaced woman living at the school, said it had only been a couple of months since she returned to Gaza from Egypt with her daughter, who had been taken there for medical treatment. Now her daughter had been wounded in the strike and taken to the hospital, she said. Okay, skipping down a little bit here. Israel says Hamas uses Gaza's civilians as human shields by operating within densely populated areas, humanitarian zones, schools, and hospitals, which Hamas denies. The Israeli military claimed that Hamas terrorists used the school compound as a hiding place to direct and plan numerous attacks against IDF troops in the state of Israel, and also claimed that the terrorists developed and stored large quantities of weapons inside the compound. So that happened today. And then I think I have some photos I can show you in video from that incident. Nothing graphic. Let me just pull that up here from that article. So this is, hang on, I'm going to tell you what I'm looking at here. Yes, Palestinians inspect damage at the school. Palestinians search for survivors. This one is Palestinians inspect the damage. Oh, is that what it is? Or no. Palestinians leave a school sheltering displaced people following an Israeli strike. So this is a picture from the school that got hit in that strike today by Israel. That's one picture. That's from Reuters. And then what else do I have here? Here's another picture. What is this picture of? It says, Palestinians inspect a school following an Israeli strike. Okay, this one here. Here's another picture. That is damage outside that school following the Israeli strike there, where Israel said it was targeting terrorists. I think I have a video to show you too. Let me pull that up. Just make sure it's not graphic. Okay, I'm looking at it. Ooh, okay, I see some damage. Okay. There's somebody on a stretcher, but I'll stop that. I'll stop it before we get there. So this is a video from Reuters, from that article, that shows you guys Palestinians search for survivors after Israeli strike hits a school sheltering the displaced. Okay. I'll show you the beginning of that one. So again, this is a video from that school that was hit, where reportedly 30 people were killed in Gaza. And Israel said it was targeting terrorists. So I'm going to show you the first part of this video. Right here, you'll see, right there, see the damage there?
I was sitting in the tent at our neighbours. I heard heavy strikes.
There's a person on a stretcher I don't want to show. It's not really graphic, but I don't want to show it anyway. Yeah, anyways, that's what I wanted to show from that one. Okay. So that happened too. I don't want to ignore that happening. That's a whole other thing that happened today, which is a bit tangential to what we're talking about. But, I mean, it just keeps going on there. And again, just to remind you, so in this stream, I've had a couple photos and videos to show you and some articles. That is something I am experimenting with, maybe buying some more content for the channel. I already pay for live footage, but kind of interested in having in this idea that I can get you some articles and some photos and some video clips. So if you do like that stuff, let me know, and I can keep. I'm going to be trying it out over the next couple weeks, but I think it's helpful to have that stuff for you guys. But that stuff, the stuff we're using is from Reuters today, to give you like a better idea of what happened. Yeah, people say they like having the articles and the videos and the photos and stuff. I mean, it's just helpful to see where this stuff happened and all that stuff. Yeah, a lot of the viewers seem to like it. So again, it is something I am looking into doing more. Evelyn says the more info, the better. Thanks, Joner Games, for your support. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And hang on 1 second here. Jonathan Earl says it feels like a more comprehensive report. Yeah, and also let me again just show you this, just as a little summary of what we're covering. There was a nice video that went along with the article I was reading before about what we're covering. So what we are covering is that Israel says the Iran-backed group Hezbollah in Lebanon launched a rocket which hit a soccer field in the Golan Heights, which is an Israeli-occupied territory, which Israel has controlled since 1967. And it hit a soccer field where a bunch of young people were playing and hanging out, and 12 people were killed, and Israel says over 20 were injured. And Israel is vowing a strong response to Hezbollah. Hezbollah says it's not their fault. They're not taking responsibility. They're denying responsibility. But Israel is saying this was Hezbollah's fault. So we're waiting to see in the coming hours and maybe days what is the Israel response to this. And just as a little summary of what happened, let me just quickly show you this. So I'm going to show you a video, but the video goes along with this Reuters article. Israel says Hezbollah rocket kills 12 at football ground, meaning soccer field. Vows response. A rocket attack on a soccer field in the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights killed 12 people, including children, on Saturday, Israeli authorities said, blaming Hezbollah and vowing to inflict a heavy price on the Iran-backed Lebanese group. So let me just show you that video with some narration on it again, because I think it's a helpful video. Here it is right here. Let me just pull up the right one. Yes. Somebody thought this might be AI narration. It might be AI narration. I don't know. But regardless, I think it's a helpful video, so I'm going to show it to you again. It's a little summary video. Here. So here's this video from Reuters, little summary video explaining what we're covering. Hopefully this works. Let's see.
This video posted to social media on Saturday shows the moment a rocket hit a football pitch in the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights. The strike in the village of Majdal Shams killed around a dozen people, including children, Israeli authorities said. It was the deadliest strike in Israel or Israeli-annexed territory since the start of the conflict in Gaza.
This evening,
Israeli authorities blamed the Iran-backed Lebanese group Hezbollah, vowing a response. The Israeli ambulance service said around a dozen more people were wounded in the blast. Hezbollah denied any responsibility for the strike in a statement. The group had earlier announced several rocket attacks targeting Israeli military positions in other locations from Lebanon. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who was due to head back from the U.S. to Israel overnight on Saturday, said he would bring his flight forward and convene his security cabinet upon arrival. Hezbollah and Israel have been trading fire in areas at or near the Lebanese-Israeli border since the eruption of the Gaza war. It's stirred fears of a full-blown conflict between the heavily armed adversaries. The Israeli-occupied Golan Heights was part of Syria until 1967, when Israel captured most of the area in the Middle East War, annexing it in 1981. That unilateral annexation was not recognized by most countries, and Syria demands the return of the territory.
So that was a little summary from the Reuters article of what we are covering. A quick thank you to Walter Beasley. Thanks, Walter. I'll put it towards the articles. Thank you, Walter, for your support. Also, Joner Games. Thank you for the gift memberships. And yes, Hezbollah is denying responsibility for this. As I mentioned, we talked about, I'll show you this again. One of the articles I read today, I forget, it might have been AP, said that it's rare for Hezbollah to deny responsibility for an attack like this. But they did deny it today. So they said, the article said, here's the article, Hezbollah denied any responsibility for the strike, the deadliest in Israel or Israeli annexed territory since the start of the conflict in Gaza. In a written statement, Hezbollah said the Islamic resistance has absolutely nothing to do with the incident and categorically denies all false allegations in this regard. But they were launching rockets today at Israel, and they said that. All right, so what... thank you, by the way, Marissa Pugliese, for the gift memberships. Very much appreciated. Thanks, Marissa. So what's going to happen? I'm going to do a poll. I'm going to do a little poll here. So since last October, there's been it's not like an out and out war. There's been this kind of simmering back and forth conflict between Israel, this kind of controlled military conflict between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon since last October, after the October 7th attacks. So the question is, there's been this worry that eventually it's going to blow up into a war between Israel and Hezbollah. And some people think that like an incident like this, where you have a dozen people in Israeli-controlled territory killed by what they say is a Hezbollah rocket, some people think this could really move this conflict towards a war between Hezbollah and Israel. So I guess my question is going to be do you think in the coming months will there be war between Hezbollah and Israel? The basic idea of the question is, do you think this is going to help lead to that? But I just, so I'm going to ask that question in the chat right now, in the YouTube and Twitch chat, and see what you guys think about this. Hey, why didn't that work? I'm going to say on Twitch, will there be wars soon between Hezbollah and Israel? And I'm going to show you guys what people are saying in the chat in response. All right, let me post what people are saying. Wow, people are pretty pessimistic, meaning they think there's going to be war over there on YouTube. That's pretty pessimistic over there. Let me show you what people on YouTube are saying about this right now. Look at this. Look what our YouTube viewers say. 83% say yes. 83% of our YouTube viewers think that in the coming months there will be war between Hezbollah and Israel. By the way, Hezbollah is much more powerful than Gaza is. Hezbollah is heavily armed. Way more so than Hamas in Gaza. So 84% of you, one of our viewers just said pessimistic or realistic. 84% of you think there's going to be war in coming months between Hezbollah and Israel over on Twitch, and then over on YouTube, I'm sorry. And on Twitch, actually, it's pretty similar over on Twitch. Let me show you what people on Twitch said. On Twitch, it was 76% yes, 24% no. I hope there isn't, but most of you think there's going to be. Thank you for voting in our poll. And a quick thanks to Bobby Tees. That's very nice of you, Bobby Tees. Thank you. I want to also just see if there's any kind of more recent updates since we've been on the air. They're not. Somebody said, are they at war? Well, there's been military conflict going on, but it's not really an out-and-out war. I think you understand what I'm saying. We're talking about like a full-blown war between the two. Hang on a second here. Let me check something. The Dirt Urchin says war hasn't been declared officially. Like the headline in the Times of Israel says now that this is sparking wider war fears. Oh, I thought I saw some article. Sorry. Axios. They had something about it. Axios has an article today, AXIOS, you can look it up, and it says Golan Heights attack raises concerns of war between Israel and Hezbollah, which is just what we've been talking about. And they report, Axios reports, did Barak Ravid report this? Maybe I can show you his post about this. I can't find it. Anyways, Axios is reporting that the Biden administration is highly concerned that a rocket attack from Lebanon that killed 12 people in the Golan Heights could lead to an all-out war between Israel and Hezbollah, U.S. officials tell Axios. If you want to go to Axios, they have a whole article on this. But again, that the concern is that this incident could lead to an all-out war. And then that a war between Israel and Hezbollah could draw on in Iran and draw on the U.S. and draw on who knows who else. Okay. By the way, Israel time right now, it's like the middle of the night there, I think. Israel time is 4:25 a.m. Israel time. That's the time there right now. Envy says this keeps dragging on. One of our viewers says Hezbollah is backed by Iran. Very true, very true. Oh, you know what else? So Axios is saying, Axios reports that an IDF official, an Israeli defense official, told reporters in a briefing that Hezbollah fired a rocket with an unusually large warhead in retaliation for an Israeli strike earlier on Saturday that killed 4 members of Hezbollah. Also, Axios reports that Hezbollah claims, Hezbollah told the UN that claimed that the incident was the result of an Israeli anti-rocket interceptor hitting the soccer field, but the IDF denied this was what happened. Also, a U.S. official told Axios the U.S. assessment is that the rocket was fired by Hezbollah. That's according to Axios. You can read more about that over there. And then also in a press conference, according to Times of Israel, the Israeli military spokesperson Daniel Hagari said that the rocket was an Iranian-made Falak 1 rocket. They identified it as such, which is made by Iran. And he said that it was a Falak 1 rocket an Iranian rocket, rocket manufactured in Iran, a rocket with a warhead of over 50 kilograms of explosives, he said. He said the forensic findings at the scene point to this rocket. I might even have that statement from him. Let me see if I have the statement. One moment. Oops. Where am I doing this? What is going on? Right. Where is the thing I normally press? Here. Ah, I got it. Hold on. No, is that it? No, this is the military spokesman, Daniel Hagari. He says, from the analysis of the operational systems of the IDF, it appears the launch to Majdal Shams was carried out from an area located north of the village of Sheba in southern Lebanon. They say, according to reliable intelligence information available to the IDF, the person behind the launch is the terrorist organization Hezbollah. Or is in the terrorist organization Hezbollah? Probably a bad translation. All right, we'll take a few more comments from you guys. So certainly this is a really terrible incident, and we'll have to see where this is all going. Oh, also, Chadwick Redmayne sent me this from Margaret Brennan, who's with CBS News. She had posted earlier today that a U.S. official tells CBS there is no real doubt here this was Hezbollah. The current assessment is that the children were not the intended target. And also, she had said earlier today, White House officials have been working the phones trying to contain the fallout from this horrific attack that killed children and to prevent Hezbollah and Israel from all-out war. U.S. has long been concerned that such a war could draw in the U.S. The Wall Street Journal said also that this incident threatens to escalate the already tense standoff on the Lebanese border. Wall Street Journal says Hezbollah has been exchanging fire with Israel on a near daily basis since shortly after the October 7th attacks. And so something else that's interesting that the Wall Street Journal said. The Wall Street Journal said today, despite intermittently ratcheting up the intensity of their strikes, Israel and Hezbollah have kept their attacks on each other at a level that will inflict pain on each other without triggering an all-out war, which would be devastating to civilians on both sides of the border. The concern has been that a miscalculation or a misfire could spark an escalatory spiral that neither side wants. One other thing the Wall Street Journal mentions is that Hezbollah has said it will not stop its strikes on Israel until fighting stops in Gaza. Kitty Zimmerman, our viewer, says, in my opinion, I see this as continuing to escalate. Neither side seems capable of being totally honest and being able to admit fault. Our viewer Armin Amsterdam says Hezbollah is a different enemy for Israel. They are far better armed and trained. I think he or she means than Hamas, and says they can inflict costs on Israel as the 2006 war shows. Yeah, I mean, Hezbollah is much better armed than Hamas is. They have a huge amount of like rockets and missiles, for example. I mean, you can see this. There's a whole article about it on Wikipedia, for example. Hezbollah armed strength. Hezbollah has an exceptionally strong military wing, thought to be stronger than the Lebanese army and equivalent to the armed strength of a medium-sized army. It is considered to be the most powerful non-state actor in the world. Hezbollah's leader, Nasrallah, claimed in 2021 his organization has 100,000 trained fighters, and they are financed in part by Iran and trained by Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. It also says estimates of Hezbollah's total rocket count range from 40,000 to 120,000. Anyways, you can read more about that Hezbollah armed strength on Wikipedia. Oh, you know, our viewer Jane Mervang mentioned that maybe you can track Netanyahu's flight on Flight Radar 24. Is that true? Let's see. Is it still up there? Maybe it's not up there anymore. She sent me what seemed to be possibly it, but maybe it's disappeared. Maybe it's not being tracked. XA001. Right, I'm here on Flight Radar 24. Great site, Flight Radar 24. Oh, I got to log in. Sorry, let me log into Flight Radar 24. Let me log in. Great flight tracking site. Show on map. Oh, there it is right there. Israel government. Is this Netanyahu's flight? See, it says Israel government. It took off from Camp Springs in like near DC. Do we know if this is Netanyahu's plane? I don't know if it is. I wouldn't be surprised if it is. Just for the fun of it, if I want to filter this, some of our viewers think it is. If I want to filter it, I got to go to filters and then add new filter, aircraft. Does this work? No? That's not it. But that's the number of it. How am I not doing this right? What happened? What did I do wrong here? I thought I had the right. Is that the wrong code? I thought XA001 was the code. Doesn't seem to be working. XA001. What did I do wrong? I have to work this out later. Search by registration. Oh, somebody said use the registration. Okay, let's try this. Filters. Add new filter. Aircraft. No results. Tail number? I just used the registration and the whatever number. Anyway, I was just trying to get it so that was the only one you see on the screen. Serial number? More. Custom. Oh, hide other aircraft. I got it. I just did it. There's an option that says, it's that easy. It's that easy on Flight Radar 24. You just click on hide other aircraft. That's what it is. Anyways, so it's possible. I don't know for a fact that this is it. It's given that it's the number 10 tracked worldwide and it's Israel government and it's a big plane and it seems to be flying back from the U.S., I certainly think this could be Netanyahu's plane. But I don't know. Brownbeard thinks that's it. Anyways, if you want, you can go to Flight Radar 24 and you can look it up and you can track it. It's got a, if this is the plane, it's got a ways to go, by the way. Israel's all the way over here. Okay. Thanks to our viewer for messaging. Some of our viewers think it's a decoy. I don't know. If it's a decoy, maybe the other, well, I have no idea if that's true, but that would still suggest the other one's around the same place. Anyways. Yeah, I thought he visited Trump. He visited Trump, I think, yesterday. I think yesterday is when he was in Florida. Oh yeah, he's flying from D.C. The Times of Israel did say, the Times of Israel said that the Times of Israel says that he flew out of D.C. at 6 p.m. Eastern time, according to Times of Israel. That's what they said. He flew out of D.C. at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So that would suggest that that flight we're looking at is the one it was. Because it looks like this took, well, it says it took off at 7:30. But anyways, it seems like this might be it. Okay. Michelle says it's a 12-hour flight. If that's true, I mean, again, it's got, he said, I think when he gets back, he's going to meet with his security cabinet or whatever. So if that's the case, it's going to take hours for him to get back. Anyways. You can look it up at Flight Radar 24, a great flight tracking site. Okay. All right, let me just check a couple more messages here. So, hold on a second here. Our viewer Southern and Sad says he believes that war between Israel and Lebanon is coming. Maybe he means specifically Hezbollah in Lebanon. So I was just checking a few. People have sent me messages. I want to just check some more of the messages here. Hang on a second here. Okay. Southern and Sad says, do you think the Lebanon war will become regional? There is certainly a worry that if this becomes a war between Israel and Hezbollah, that various countries could get drawn in. That is a concern. The New York Times says, for months, well-armed Hezbollah has fired thousands of missiles and drones in Israel at Israel in solidarity with Hamas, leading tens of thousands of Israelis to evacuate their homes in northern Israel. Israel has retaliated in Lebanon, prompting more than 90,000 people in Lebanon near the Israel border to flee north. At the same time, the two sides have sought to avoid igniting a full-blown war, which would likely devastate both countries, it says. But experts have warned that a deadly miscalculation could ignite a broader escalation. So, and some people are wondering if what happened today with this rocket that Israel said was fired by Hezbollah from Lebanon and hit a soccer field in Israeli-controlled Golan Heights and killed 12 people and injured, Israel says, over 20 people. Could that be the miscalculation or the incident that leads this towards open war between Israel and Hezbollah? That is what we'll have to see. All right, guys, I just wanted to come on and do a live update on this, and I don't really have much else new to tell you on this, but what I can tell you is Israel is vowing to strike back at Hezbollah in response to this, and they have not done so yet. Netanyahu is traveling back to Israel right now, and Netanyahu does say, he did post on his social media, he said, just to show you again, he said, I was shocked to see the horrific photos in the wake of Hezbollah's murderous attack in Majdal Shams. As soon as I arrive in Israel, I will immediately convene the Security Cabinet. I can say the state of Israel will not let this pass in silence. We will not overlook this. So there's going to be some response. Not going to be an hour from now because he's got a long flight back. But maybe if and when this response comes, we'll jump back on the air and cover that. All right? But I think I'm going to wrap up this stream right now. So, but I will certainly keep you posted with updates, and if there's big developments, we'll come back on the air and do another live stream. We did a whole other stream earlier today, so we didn't get on the air earlier for this because we were covering Trump speaking at the Bitcoin convention. So if you missed that and you want to see that, we posted that earlier. Yeah, so if there's big news in this and other stories, I'll jump back on the air. I hope people liked the use of we were trying out the Reuters articles and photos and videos. I'm going to be trying out some different content like that, and hopefully we can, that I pay for, and hopefully we can find some content that I can afford that works and helps us all out. So I hope, if you have any thoughts on that, feel free to message me on @Lookner on X about that. No, there's no reliable reporting that Israel is carrying out major strikes right now. No, there's no reliable reporting about that whatsoever. So subscribe, follow this channel, Agenda Free TV. We cover all kinds of live breaking news without an agenda. And also, you can follow me for breaking news updates on my X account, which is @Lookner on X. @Lookner on X. I will post breaking news there as well when I am not on the air. But as I mentioned before, certainly condolences to the families of the 12 people who were killed, many of them children. I don't know if all of them were, but certainly it looks like many of them were. Apparently everybody was between 10 and 20 who was killed and injured. And thoughts with all those who were injured in this terrible incident. But I do appreciate you joining the coverage, and also thanks for sending me messages, letting me read your comments on the air, sending me news updates, and so forth. And a huge thanks to our moderators. You guys are awesome. They are always here when we're on the air. They're the reason that we can even have chat rooms, our moderators. So big thanks to them. For example, people like Ruth Kafasi, BZ, Chandra, over there on YouTube moderating. Thank you very much. And all of our other YouTube moderators who've been there. Oh, and thanks Pixel Panda for your support. I really appreciate that, Pixel Panda. Thank you. And thanks to our Facebook moderators like Kay Lowry Body, Christina Neal, Margaret Riley, Paul Anderson. Thank you. And our Twitch mods as well. People like Big Ball of Yarn, Papa Bear, and Surly Dev, and our X moderators, Linda Belk and Larry, moderate for us over there on X. And hang on a second here. Let check something out here. Oops. And I do really appreciate everybody who donated to the channel. That is super nice of you guys. So thanks so much for your support of the channel. You're the ones who keep the channel on the air, so thank you. And thanks to Desi for the support on Twitch, and Lilith21123 for subscribing on Twitch, and Ivory John. I'm sorry, I'm behind on Twitch. Ivory John, thanks for subscribing, and A Moment of Lovely, thanks for the bits on Twitch. And if you ever want to donate to the channel, you go to agendafree.tv, agendafree.tv. But thanks for letting this channel exist and for your support. Oh, and thanks Pixel Panda for your support and for shouting out the moderators. Thank you. Hey, sign up for the notifications. We have a free notification system. It works really well. You sign up once for free, and then you will get a notification sent to you every time we go live to cover breaking news. We do the notifications through Discord. The moderators can post in the chat the link to the free notifications. Highly recommend you sign up for that. And you can also find that link to the notifications at the Facebook and YouTube descriptions for this broadcast. Also, at the same link, if you want, you can check out our Discord chat where you can chat with other viewers when we're not on the air. It's free. A lot of our viewers like doing that as well. Shout out to our Discord mods. Thanks for your support. And thanks for your help over there on Discord. Oh, thanks Barker J. Rohr for subscribing on Twitch as well. And if anybody's interested in being a volunteer moderator, that would be fantastic. Just ask the mods for more information on that. There might be a wait list depending on the platform, but that would be much appreciated. A quick reminder, if you are watching on YouTube and you subscribe to the channel and you want to turn notifications on YouTube, there's a kind of a funky thing you have to do on YouTube. You need to click the bell and choose all notifications. This is to get the YouTube notifications. Click the bell and choose all over there on YouTube. Yes, by the way, Bill mentioned Bill Snick. Yeah, so my plan is to do some sort of Venezuela election stream. So unless, I'm not 100% sure, but I'd say I'm 90% sure I will be doing some sort of stream about the Venezuela election tomorrow, probably in the late afternoon. I think the polls close at 6. But it can take a while or even days to get the results in. But I am planning on doing some coverage of that. Tomorrow, Venezuela election. It's a very interesting situation there. Hey, let me say thanks to our subscribers on Twitch for your support. People like Wall Street and Shaggy and Dazzleys 4 and Jackson and Aaron Weirdo and I Can Cast. Thanks for subscribing on Twitch. All of our subscribers over there. Did I say Jackson 22? Drunk Can't Cook. Sparky Pilot. Devil Doc. Gina Pina. Fruit Shop. Thank you all of our Twitch and all the other Twitch subscribers. Thank you. Aaron Weirdo. Thank you. And also our Facebook subscribers. Big thanks to you, like Diane Allworth and Lou Green, Eve Richards, Margaret Riley, Kay Larry Body, Robert Rial II, Michael Clayton. Big thanks for subscribing on Facebook. And Billy Joe Drage as well, and our YouTube members. Big shout out for you for your support of the channel. William Cromer, Evelyn in Maine, Mark Playton, Abu Mohandis, Barry, Wickedest Witch, UV Lightning, Paula Faust, Liquid Electrum, the one and only. Thanks for being members. Cheryl Simpson, Buffalo Women, and Noah Hyde, PZ Papa Zulu, Mythical Apex Strategist J.K. Sinar, William Cromer, Jen's Crunchy Vax, Pistol Pete, thanks for being a member, and Marissa Pugliese, Trax and Relax, Pat Bev Street Guy, Ty Sticks, Dr. McRib, Knight of Fire, Dean R. Surge Deb, Pobby Thies, thank you so much, and all of our other members as well. All right, so I'm wrapping up this stream. Again, I would not be surprised if there's more news on this, but I will have to keep an eye out, and we'll see what Israel does in response in the coming days, and maybe we'll do a stream on it, depending on the news. Okay. Thanks also to our viewers like DMF Squiggy and Terry Rose and Audrey Burbank and all of our other viewers. Marco as well. All right, guys. So that is it. You've been watching our live update on this rocket strike in the Israel-controlled Golan Heights. We will follow the situation, keep following the situation in the Middle East and bring you updates on this and other big stories around the world. That is it for now. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon with more live breaking news coverage right here at Agenda Free TV.